Hello, everyone. My name is Terry. I come to address and tell a little bit about myself, address some questions on my Facebook that I've seen today, and answer some questions and concerns, obviously, that my friends and family have, and some people who don't know me. First of all, am I okay? Yes and no. Some days I'm better than others, and some days I am an absolute mess. You don't see this because I don't want to burden you with my feelings. There's a lot of masking that goes on in grief. The first 2 years after my daughter passed, I masked a lot. I had a lot of concerns. People were saying that I wasn't grieving correctly, that I was in shock, and I may have been. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't grieve normal. I think maybe I was in shock, but what you didn't see in the background was me not leaving my bed for days, crying constantly at the doctor because I can't go through with my normal everyday routines, and him putting me on extremely, well, she, I should say at the time, putting me on extremely strong antidepressants that I can't even get off of. When I come off of them, I split, I shatter, basically. So let's just cover a little bit of the topic here. First off, my daughter got sick with mono or Epstein-Barr virus. It turned into something called HLH, hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, which is extremely deadly. It caused her whole immune system to work against her and attack her major organs and joints and whatnot, which then caused cancer. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, systemic T cell. And she only had a couple treatments left before she passed away. She had almost beat the cancer. The HLH is what ultimately took her out. It is 95% fatal if not treated. She was a few weeks away from bone marrow transplant. She unfortunately didn't make it. The last thing I asked my daughter as they were intubating her and in her last breaths, what she said to me, I said, "Are you okay? Are you afraid?" And she said, "Why should I be afraid? I have Jesus." And right there, that changed my whole life. Not only did the passing of my daughter change my whole life, but that statement from her changed my whole life. The only way I'm able to get through this and talk every day about this and live her memory, keep it alive, is because I have Jesus. So if you're not religious, and doesn't mean that this isn't for you, this is still a grief walk. Everybody has experienced grief in one way or fashion. I know somebody who is into some really bad things, and I had to watch a loved one grieve that person, and they're still alive, but they are lost. So there's different forms of grief on this planet. There's grief of losing a loved one. There's grief of just a breakup. There's grief of losing a job, losing an animal. Whatever the profound loss is in your life could have a huge effect on you. I suffer with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from the hospital. I had a terrible experience at the hospital. Me and my family did. Not just me. It was me and my family. My daughter would tell me things, and I would tell the nurses or the staff, and nobody took me serious. They all thought that I was a bee because I advocated for my daughter. They wanted me to leave her up there, and I wasn't doing that. There were nurses that were fantastic, and then there were nurses that were absolutely atrocious. They know who they are. It's been very well known and documented. But because of that, I struggle with the whole experience. I think it would have been different outcome for my daughter and my family had we went somewhere else. One of the things of grief is you live with these doubts and what ifs scenarios of what if I would have done this instead? What if this would happen? What if that? And what do they say? Hindsight is 2020. They're not joking. There's this thought of, well, could she still be here if I would have went here? Could she still be here if this? If I would have been on top of it and know more about HLH? Because one of the things they told us was not to look it up. And so we didn't, because we didn't want to live in that doom and gloom while we were there. I stayed very positive with my daughter. I did a lot of dancing with her, a lot of makeup, a lot of artistry stuff. We kept her very busy, and it was very hard to keep this child busy who, if you know anything about Eve, she was a very animated child. She loved anime, Japanese anime. She loved artistry. She drew. She was a singer. She was a dancer. She loved, anything that had beauty in it. Her favorite part of the day was sunsets. And I always like to imagine that she was painting the sunsets with Jesus every day, but looking on my, my Facebook today, and I'm not going to respond to everybody directly on there, just because there's a lot of comments, but I hear you, I see you, and I validate how you feel. I'm not grieving more than normal. I'm grieving the same amount. I'm just being raw and showing the grief process out loud. I was commanded by Jesus a few years ago to document my journey and eventually lead up to what I will start in probably about a year or so, a program called Faith and Flowers. And basically what he wanted me to do was document my grieving process. I was afraid. I felt I wasn't worthy enough to be the person to document and be a witness for Christ. I'm a sinner just like anybody else, and I have to repent daily, because I'm not perfect. And, one of the things about losing a child is you feel like, was this a punishment? But God told me he had to take her because her body was broken. And I know he could have fixed her, but she would have never been the same. And there was so many negatives and positives that came out of this. I want to share something very intimate. And I want you to understand where this grieving comes from. I had to sit my husband on our knees, begging God not to take my daughter for 10 minutes while I heard her coding. There was a puddle of blood on the ground, so much blood, just so much. Her ECMO had popped her artery. They worked on her for over 10 minutes before they came to me and said, we don't know if we are even able to get her back, what state she's going to be in. And I said, my daughter made her choice. I think she had already had a talk with God and Jesus, and I think she was ready to go. When I went in there and finally said my goodbyes, the room was lit up. So warm and just glowing in there, and she actually had color. Her face was back to normal. She looked absolutely beautiful laying there. The hardest thing I had to do was say goodbye, obviously. What mother wants to say goodbye to their baby? I did. I pulled her. They give them a death blanket. I pulled it back because I wanted to see how hard she fought. And her chest was messed up from the compressions. And I was just so proud of her for being this strong young lady in these past 9 months, or however many months, 8 months, I don't even know anymore. And I thought, if I could be a fraction of that, I'm gonna be that. Someone said that I needed to hurry up and grieve, that if I didn't have faith in God because I was still grieving. I want you to think about this. Yes, it's been 4 years. Do you know how many of her friends I'm still friends with on my Facebook, and I see out in public, and I see them having their first homecoming, their first boyfriends, their first kisses. They get to walk down the aisle someday with their father. We don't get that enjoyment in life with her. Time was stolen. Those bring back moments of grief frequently. Her best friends moving on and growing up and becoming such beautiful young ladies, and I just wish my daughter could experience that with them. She's whole and she is safe and she is a new person up in heaven. And I know someday I'm going to be reunited with her, but my body and my soul, my heart, the physical aspect of being in the world yearns to hold my baby girl again. And when I see there's no jealousy there, I'm so happy for these young ladies. It just brings back the moments of, again, what if? What if she was here? Would she be going to prom? Would she be going to homecoming? Would she have her first kiss by now? Would she, would she be driving? What kind of vehicle would she have? It's little things like that. What would her style look like? Would she be back into this 90s style that's back again? That's where you live sometimes. And you can't help it. People are going to tell you, you need to just get over it. It's hard. It's so hard. You can't get over it. It's always going to be a thing in your life. So for those who are worried about me, don't be. I've always been grieving. I'm going to grieve to the day that I am reunited with my daughter. I'm not saying don't worry about me. I'm okay. If I didn't have Jesus, I wouldn't have any faith to walk on every day. That's why I'm calling this series Faith in the Storm. Did Peter have faith when God or Jesus pulled him out, wanted him to walk out from the boat onto the water? No. We've been there. And you know how many times Jesus had to lend his hand to me and pull me out of the water? Lots of times. But I'm still here, and I'm going to spread this journey with people, and I want people to understand that it's okay to grieve. There is no time limit. And people are going to walk away from you. People are going to back away, and it's okay. Let them. Let them. Because those people aren't strong enough for you yet. I'm not saying they will never be, and I'm not saying that they will ever be. Right now, they can't deal with the tragic loss that you're going through. They don't even know how to relate, and they don't even know what to say to you. I've lost so many friends. They're more acquaintances now. I see them in passing, hey, but I dare not bring up my baby girl because it will make them feel awkward. They will feel helpless. They won't know what to say to me, and that's okay. That's okay. But I want everybody to remember that she's my daughter first and foremost. I will always talk about her. If a moment comes up that seems to relate to anything with her, I'm going to talk about it. One thing that came out of this, I have no fear anymore. I've lived my worst day, unfortunately. And I don't fear anything. I have no shyness. I have no remorse on things that I do. Yes, I still think before I speak, and yes, I still speak before I do. But I'm making decisions that are best for me and my family now, and I'm not worried about what other people think or say anymore. I do not care. You are not in my shoes. You do not feel what I feel, and I pray you never have to feel what I feel. And those of you who do feel that, I am so sorry. I know that loss hurts. I know it does. Recently a division has happened within my family, and that hurts. It is killing me, and it's brought back a lot of grief within me. And you think, because it's a different situation and it's still a form of grieving, that it wouldn't relate to my daughter, but it brings those moments and memories back up. How can somebody just walk out of your life that you've loved and cared about? You've known them your whole life, and it's okay. It's not okay. I'm grieving. My family's grieving right now. It's a different form of grief, but it's still a grief. I didn't get to bed till 5, 6 o'clock this morning because my husband, he's out of town working. I am literally just thinking about the situation of my family, my daughter. I miss her. I love her. I wish, she was here. My son was up all night in the middle of the night waiting for me to fall asleep so he could, because he was worried about me. That's the harsh reality of my family. I'm not trying to put stress on my son. I have been there for him when he's been in the same situation as me. It is normal. It's a normal part of grief. You learn to cut your circle down, include the people who care and love about you, people who pray for you. I know my friends who have backed away still pray for me, and I am so grateful for you. And I know that this is hard, watching someone who was as strong as me deteriorate. I'm not deteriorating. I'm just broken. And I'm trying to figure out how to pace myself back together. I'm not going to be the same. I'm never going to be the same. This is a traumatic experience that I've had to live through that has caused some major issues in my life. And I just want everybody to know that I am okay, but you are going to see this side of me from this point on, and I'm not going to hide it anymore. You deserve to know, and other people deserve to speak out how they feel, and everyone needs to listen and understand that grief is different for everyone. It comes in different forms, and it's not something you can just get over. It is something that is going to walk with me for the rest of my life, and it's going to happen at weird moments. It's going to make you feel awkward if I randomly start crying because you said something that reminded me of my baby girl. I'm sorry ahead of time. It happens all the time. I see her favorite cartoon come on and I just want to cry. I hear a sound that reminded me of her. I cry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be apologizing, but I don't like people feeling awkward around me, and I'm not an awkward person, and I don't want to make people uncomfortable. But I want you and everyone to know that I do love yous. I know I'm not the same person you remember. I'm never gonna be. My family are not the same. We're never gonna be. But please stop telling us to hurry up and get over it. Please stop telling us that we don't have faith. We do. Again, why we are all still standing here is because of Jesus. I can't get over it. That's my daughter. I'm watching all her friends grow up and my daughter's not there. I'm watching my son grow up without his sister who was his best friend. It's not fair, but it is what it is, and I'm okay with God's decision. I may not know why it happened, but I will someday when I get to hold her again. But a lot, like I said, positive has come out of this. And I'm sharing a faith journey with you right now. A faith journey of grief. And that is a positive that's going to come out of this. Again, I just want everybody to know. I'm going to end with this. Yes, I'm okay. Yes, I'm a grieving mother. I'm never going to stop grieving. There are going to be good days and bad days. My family is okay. Again, they're going to have good days and bad days. So please stop worrying and just walk with us. Be the support we need. Comment, share videos so that more people who are going through this can have an understanding and relate. Some people feel alone in their journey. Share this so they can contact me. We can talk this through. I've had a few people contact me yesterday and blew my mind. I didn't know that they were also going through grief. Thank you. It helps. It is a part of healing, and everyone deserves to heal. No, the bandages are going to be in different places. There's going to be shatters and cracks, but we still deserve the love and the friendships that we had before this. We still deserve to be treated as humanly as possible. And please stop telling us to grieve because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Or stop grieving. We can't. As a mother, as a friend, as a family, cousin, sister, whatever it is, we can't. So just be there, walk with them, and don't say much. Hold them, love them, pray for them. That's what your role needs to be as somebody who's supportive. I know some people want to talk to me about this. There's nothing to talk about. I'm okay. I'm broken. And it's okay. Be there. Be supportive. Pray. Tell them you love them. I miss you. I never knew that this was going on, and I want to understand, so I want to listen. That's where you need to be. I love everybody, and I'm thankful for you taking this journey with me. Buckle up, because some days it's going to be worse than others, and some days it's going to be butterflies and rainbows. Doom and gloom to butterflies and rainbows. I want to show the raw side of this, and every day I'm going to post. And every day I'm going to share different things of grief. It is not always going to be negative. Grief isn't always negative. Sometimes you cry laughing over a happy memory. So you just never know. But what I do say is, and I'm going to end with this, is If you don't have Jesus, you're never going to make it through this alive. You're going to perish mentally, physically, and emotionally, and your soul is going to crash and burn. So keep reaching for him when you're grieving. Just every time that you feel you're in the pits and you're stuck, lend your hand up and he is going to grab it and he's going to keep pulling you out, and he's never going to give up. So don't give up on him. He has your baby. He has your loved one. He's working on the person who you're grieving, who's still on this planet that you've lost. He's working on you, and he's never going to give up because he loves you. So I love you all, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in 20 plus minutes, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for being a support system. I greatly appreciate it. Peace and God bless.